Well, hello there. Sorry it's been a while. I thought I'd better finish off these tarot card meanings. So today we're going to be talking about the 7s, 8s, 9s and 10s. So I'm just going to switch cameras. There I am. So just to recap, the swords relate to conflict, stress and decisions. The pentacles or coins relate to our finances and the wherewithal of what we can do with that money, what we can achieve with it. And also sometimes there can be a stress component with money because we worry about money. Wands relate to work and action, creativity, and at times travel. Cups relate to communications, emotions, and relationships. Generally, if a cup was to end a line of cards, just say you're doing a 3-card spread and a cup was at the end, then things would go smoothly. If a sword ended the 3 cards, imagining that you did a little 3-card spread, then things are going to not end so well. And I don't mean to make this too advanced. I'd be inclined to put another card down to see, well, how do we deal with this sword situation? What can we do about it? So cups are often a yes, swords are generally a no, and pentacles and wands are a maybe. Just to give you a bit of an idea if you're looking at yes and no questions with people. So let's just turn it over. And here we have our 7 of Swords. New plans, deception, open your eyes and trust your instincts. When you're moving forward, remember to look back and check that you've shut the door before you get out. 7 of Coins, results from efforts that are close now. Success through patience. It's like that tending the garden and now the crops are ready to harvest and you're just on the point of being ready with that. 7 of Wands. Hard work, overcoming obstacles, and we overcome these obstacles. If you look at your picture, by overcoming things one at a time, you will get the advantage that's needed. And then we have Cups. Illusion. Person with an impressive appearance but no substance to them. A card of temptation. Now this is one of those cards also that it's all in context to the question, because the other day I was doing a reading and it came up that you know, someone was asking what do I do if I don't get this job, because they were wanting to get this job but they also had other irons in the fire, if you like. And this card come up and said, well, as the last card, well, by the time if you don't get the job, it was a maybe, it will let you focus on all the other things you are wanting to do and tie up loose ends and get all that sort of flowing with you again. So these meanings are there as a guide, but also look at your picture and always look in context to your question. So now we're going to go on to the 8s. We have our 8 of Swords, a card of restriction, misfortune, and things can go wrong if opportunities aren't seized. But with this card, sometimes it's we're not seeing what we need to do, or we don't believe that we can make the decision to step out of the situation and move forward, because if you look at the picture, she's not actually barricaded in. They're either side of her, but there's certainly some things restricting there and generally of a mental nature. Then we have the Pentacles card, the card of 8 of Pentacles, potential, commitment to the task at hand, learning new skills. Now, it's really funny, but years ago when I was reading, like in the late 80s, it was the card of computers. And it would come up, oh, looks like you might be working with computers. And people say, oh, yes, I'm going to do a computer course. So cards evolve as change, because possibly if you said that these days, everyone could work a computer, assumingly. that wouldn't be in the context of it. But learning new skills and learning new trades, learning new things, and also having that potential and being really focused on the work that you're doing. And then we have our 8 of Wands, which is a card of communication. Things are going to move along really quickly with sudden progress. Messages coming along fast. Ideas coming along. Fast travel. It could be emails. It could be texting in context of that time. And then we have our Cups. Now, generally Cups are a very positive card, getting back to when I was talking about cards at the end. If Cups turn up at the end of the spread, it's always things are flowing. But in this card, it's often a sad card, but then what are they moving on to? They're moving on to something better, perhaps. So that would be an instance where you could put another card down too. It's just, you've got to go with, these meanings are just a guide. And I always say, just trust what you see and trust your intuition and work with the context of your question. So here we now have our 9s. And here's our 9 of Swords. I should turn it over. The 9 of Swords, this is what I call the 3 o'clock card, when you wake up and you've gone to bed stressed, but you've had a bit of sleep, and then it's just something's kicked in and you are awake. A card of restrictions, worry, sleepless nights, guilt. But a lot of it is that overthinking, worrisome thing in your head. And it is a very tragic card. It can be a time of stress and grief and horrible feelings for sure. However, a lot of the time it can be just that stuff that's overwork. I can remember years, I'm always talking years ago, I'm really sorry, but I'm trying to give an example. When I was learning to be a nurse, because I've got a nursing background, and I'm 17 as a trainee nurse, and I had these patients where you had to put the sides up on the beds or they'd fall out. And I went off work and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I ended up ringing the night sister and saying, I think I've left the sides of the beds down. Can you check? And she said, oh, don't worry, nurse, we would have rung you about that if that had happened. But that's that kicking in thing I'm trying to say, when something clicks over time in your head. And that's typically a 9 of Swords moment. Pentacles. Living your dream, living your life on your terms, someone that's very comfortable, rewards are yours. I've also found it's sometimes a card that comes up when you're about to start a garden and you're sort of wanting to put all nice plants and things around you, and you've got the wherewithal to buy them and things like that. Or you've got the creativity happening to make some cuttings and get your plants going. I don't know about you, I'm a plant person. If you, I'd love it if you shared in a comment what you think a Pentacles moment is, or what you think a 9 of Swords moment is. So now we have our 9 of Wands, and this is a card of anticipation. This is sense of not sure what's going to happen, not sure if you pass the exam, not sure if you went for the job and you're not sure whether you're going to get it, because you might have done your best, but there's people that you perceive are better than you. So it's often the sense of anticipation as the situation is sort of not that clear what's going to happen. And then we have our 9 of Cups. Wishes are fulfilled. He's got everything. His cups are all lined up like trophies. Abundance and being thankful for what you have. But it's also, in traditional cartomancy, it's the old wish card. So it's often nice to give some gratitude, make a wish if you're wanting something. If you pull this card or it falls on the floor, I always sort of say to the client, well, let's make a wish, and separate to the other reading, we do 3 cards later on with the wish card. But you don't have to do that. But it's a nice card, a sense of lucky and wishes fulfilled. So now we're going to come to our 10s. And here we have the 10 of Swords. Pain, disappointment, ruin, let go, move on. However, if you're worried about this turning up in a reading, and someone's been through a difficult time, there is this yellow here for you are able to reassure the person, depending on the question, depending on where it falls in the reading, that things are going to get worse before they get better, but they will get better. That's been my experience with this card. I'd love to hear your experience. Then we have our 10 of coins or pentacles. Well, all is well for this lot. Financial abundance. It's a family card. It's that generational success. It's just a nice, wonderful, feel-good card. It's almost like it's raining money for these people, and you sit up, depending on their question. Very positive card. And then we have our 10 of Wands. This is someone who's doing too much. The pressure's there, the commitments are on, and they're taking their toll. I've also found it to be often in a reading, depending on the question, but it can be someone packing up and moving house and all that work and effort involved in moving house. Because when you look at there's a list out there of the most stressful things in your life. I think moving house is about number 3. And when you look at that can be a good card, but it's a hard work card, but it's also quite a stressful card as well if they're taking too long. Or it can be you're going to be busy. I hope you're ready for it. And then we have our lovely, what a nice way to end it all. Not end it all. We've still got other things to do. Is the cup of happiness, joy, family unity, that sense of community. It's often the marriage card, the happy ending card, like what more could you want? It's got the lovely rainbow, and what a lovely way to end the video. And also I'd love to hear your 10 of Cups moment. When have you had a 10 of Cups moment out there? It can be the card of children, buying a house, although often that's an ace, but it's going to be a very happiness thing there. So there you have it. I'd love to thank you for watching. Sorry about this. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little mini series. As I said, it's all just a few keywords. If you don't like mine, make your own up. And sometimes you can also, if you've got a spare deck, I shouldn't have it up there. If you've got a spare deck, you can always write 1 or 3 keywords on there, and you'll be surprised how you can start reading instantly without having to flip through books. There's nothing wrong with flipping through books, and the more books you read, the more words you'll gather in your brain computer. However, just to get you going, so you're not reading and looking up a book, because I'm going to be teaching a live class after all this COVID-y stuff. I've got a live class to do in a week's time, and the clients that are coming to learn have got tarot cards, have got books, but find they're doing a reading and flipping through the book, and that becomes a very tiresome way of doing it. You'll learn to be a faster reader if you can work with your cards and write on. And I think if you look at my video on cartomancy with the playing cards, I actually do some work with the playing cards that I'd written on in that sense, just to demonstrate how it can just stop you having to look at a book, but having said that, I'm still reading books. I run across new books all the time, and I just can't stop myself. Fortunately, I've got a wonderful library here where I am, and so I enjoy that. But anyway, enough of me prattling on. Once again, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye for now.